Someone want to walk in.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Duquette?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes, here, sorry.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here.
Mr. Favreau is excused tonight. Mr. Gwinnett, zoning officer. Mr. Tejo, water sewer superintendent. Mr. Farrell, highway superintendent. Krista Marino, recreation director. Pamela Barber, confidential secretary to the board. And I do believe, and our guests.
Diane Miller, tax collector,
And
town clerk.
Chaka is excused.
Diane, our tax collector,
Oh.
town clerk.
I was
Thank you.
gonna ask him how hard it was to catch a three-legged dog.
Okay, first of all, let's table number 11. I need a motion and a second to table 11 for tonight.
Make the second it.
Jim Douglas made the motion, Craig second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, right to number 4. Need a motion discussion to accept the reports of all departments, water, sewer, health board, highway, town clerk, dog control, youth, code zoning, supervisor report, website, and banking report and JCO.
Make motion.
Craig Bruno made the motion.
Second.
Eric second. Any discussion at all? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Number 5, I need a motion to accept the regular meeting of January 25th.
Make it. Second.
Douglas and Craig on this one.
Sure.
Any discussion? All look good?
Always looks
Diane?
good, nice and speedy. Some are speedier than others.
Any discussion? We said no. All
Depends on my mood.
in favor? Aye. All in favor?
Aye. Could be the tax season, might have something to do with it.
No,
Just a
there
vote?
wasn't enough in there. I said, these are easy minutes this time.
Well, actually, it was a quick meeting.
It was a quick meeting.
It was.
Executive session was longer than the meeting.
It was.
So,
Number 6, community input. Anyone sign up?
no.
Anyone want to speak before? Okay. Nice and easy. Number 7, moving right along. Resolution discussion. I need for approval for the award of Cook Street Culvert. As you all know, everyone got the bids in our package. There was 3 bids. They were open Monday at 10 o'clock. Luck Brothers came in at $255,000. Fuller's came in at $220,000. And Ed Garrow's came in at $141,936. 142, that's what it said. 140. Yeah, 142,936. Obviously, Ed Garrow's was $87,000 lower, and then the other one was over $100,000 difference. The other bid. Apples for apples. Mark compared everything. Our engineer Ventures compared everything. Everything's apples for apples. Obviously, it's a heck of a difference, and it's a good deal for us, obviously, for the 142,936. Mike, anything
Yeah,
before we
and
do
Mark,
ours?
Mark didn't know a lot about Ed Garrow and Sons through Luck Brothers and Fullers. I worked for years with Ed Garrow and Sons. Courtney, I know, worked with them a lot. Very good contractor. They'll probably take a little longer, but they will do just as good as the other 2. They're very trustworthy. So and they're local. So and their price was great. It was absolutely fantastic.
Well, no.
I'm glad we threw the first bid out last year.
Yeah, definitely.
Use all the medicine because it'll pay us back.
Also, too, as Mark said, the opening of the bid, that's exactly the price the 2 of you were thinking a year
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Was in the 140 range. So,
Excellent.
So actually came back in return and helped us a lot by not accepting it last year, and it's doing what we did this year. They were $77,000 $64 cheaper than Fuller's and over 100,000 less than Luck Brothers.
Excellent. I'll make the
So-
motion.
Craig made the motion.
I'll second.
I'll second. Resolution, Diane.
Resolution accepting bid and authorizing the award of contract to the lowest responsible bidder, Ed Garrow and Sons Incorporated, contingent upon the final review of the bid by the town engineer for the Cook Road Culvert Replacement Project for the town of Peru, New York. Whereas notice to bidders has been duly given as required by law for the Cook Road Culvert Replacement Project for the town of Peru as described in the plans and specifications, and bids were received on January 29th, 2024 at the Peru Town Hall. And whereas the bid from Ed Garrow and Sons Incorporated is the best and lowest responsible bid for the designated public improvement for the unit price base bid of $142,936. Now therefore be it resolved by the board of the town of Peru, the supervisor and the clerk of the town of Peru are hereby authorized and directed to execute the notice of award for the base bid with the contractor Ed Garrow and Sons, contingent upon the final review of the construction documents of the bid by the town engineer and subsequent recommendation by the same for the public improvement as Aaron referred to. Resolved that this shall take effect immediately.
Any other discussion, anyone?
I'm used to math.
When are they thinking of starting?
No?
What's that?
When is the start date? Do they
I don't
have
know, I don't even know if they know their low bid, or they weren't here for the bid open, they dropped it
They
off.
dropped it off.
So I'll get a hold of them tomorrow, I'll stop down and see. They had a time limit, they could have went with the original, like we were gonna real early, or later on, like the other two wanted, so it's their choice. So, the box culvert that can't precast is supposed to be done by April 1st, so they could, you know, depending on the weather, actually start in March, because you got a month worth of work before you're
Traffic
actually
ahead, yeah.
ready for that part, and we gotta build a temporary road anyway.
Not a bad thing.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Ducat?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
I'm in a meeting right now, I have to call 9.
Yes. Okay. Number 8. We need a motion and a second for a resolution to renew LayerEight Group MSP contract. Me and Pam met week before last with Denise Dawkins and Vicky at LayerEight. They went over all the stuff that we've added, the different users we've added since we started with them a little over, 3 years ago, was it, Pam, roughly?
Yeah.
3 years ago. How much more was this? I know it was barely, not much.
1650.
1650 more than the last contract 3 years ago, and we used a lot more users or more computers on the system. So for 1650 from the contract we had 3 years ago, it could have went up more, but they're 16 something more this contract is.
Pam, you're all set, content with everything?
Yeah.
You content with everything that's in the contract?
Yes, I love it.
Because if there's any questions I'm gonna ask you, because I'm not reading it.
I could read that, so.
Bob?
Could have saved them 10 things.
Yeah, I just want to comment, they were wonderful to work with. I'll tell you, you call down there
Oh,
and
thank
they
you.
pick it up and they've been great.
Yeah.
Anytime I've had.
That's my phone right now.
And Pam has a
We'll
great
move all the way
relationship.
around having them because they're
Great, has a
fantastic.
great relationship with Chad. Chad lives right down the street here, and I think he enjoys being in the town hall.
He stopped by quick today.
He does. They're very good. So, any other discussion, Pam, you wanna, then,
I've said it before and I'll say it every single time. It's the best money the town of Peru has ever spent.
Yeah, that's what we had.
yeah, and
We
like I
did
said,
struggle with our IT people, didn't we?
no, we didn't, it's a lot of years.
We had a couple of ones,
I mean, Judy's, like today, Judy's computer, for some reason, the internet went down on her computer Friday. She came in, I had her do the ticket because they'll call me and then I have to transfer it to her anyways. But I think Chad was here within an hour, you know, and it wasn't like an emergency.
Yeah, no, it's been very good.
Their service is great.
It really is.
And like I said, after 3 years, when all the users we added and stuff we added to go up $16, that's really good. So, we did have motions.
No, we
Yep.
have not.
Okay, Craig made the motion, and who's second, or who's gonna second?
Second.
Second, Jim.
Sorry.
Resolution, Diane.
A resolution accepting the LayerEight proposal for the continuation of managed service provider of computers and networks for the town of Peru. Whereas the town board has deemed it necessary for the town of Peru to hire an IT managed service provider for the town of Peru servers, computers, and networks. Whereas the town board has decided that the proposal of LayerEight continues to be best fit and with the needs for the IT management. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Peru accepts the proposal of LayerEight for the continuation of services for the installation of software and/or hardware and on-site service for the continuity of our computer systems at a cost not to exceed $2,749.95 monthly for a period of 3 years, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any other discussion at all? It's the same terms, it's
No.
3 years. If one or them, us or them ever decided we gotta give a 30-day notice to terminate before, obviously, there's no thought of that, even with the great service we have, but it is in there. Anything else? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duque?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, number 9. Need a motion second for a resolution to close capital project H31 Dayton Southside EPG account.
Make that motion.
Craig made the motion.
I'll second.
No second. Pam, you want to say the reason why we're closing the account for 2?
We have to open a capital projects account every time we have a capital project. And that one ran its course. We got reimbursed the $8,000 that was left, probably a month or 2 ago. And it's done, so we don't need them, and it'll save us some money.
Monthly. Yeah.
Where's the $3.75 from?
Goes to the,
Goes to the water department?
whichever
Coffee fund?
lagoon, it goes to the sewer department.
Good.
Okay, just curious.
It goes to whatever main account fund it goes to.
Kind of help you out.
Okay, so I need a motion and a second for that. Oh, we got it from Craig and Mel.
Yeah.
Resolution.
Resolution authorizing closure of capital project H31 Southside EPG project account with a 0 balance at TD Bank. Whereas in order to better manage bank accounts, the town of Peru must close the capital project H31 account with TD Bank with a 0 balance since the project has been completed and account is no longer needed. Now be it resolved that the town board authorize the closure of the capital project H31 Southside EPG project account ending in 8054, since there is a 0 balance in the account, there will be no transfer of funds. Resolved that this resolution shall take effect.
So this first one was 0 balance, the next one's 375.
Right.
Okay, so roll call.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Duque?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yeah.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Next one, same thing. I need a motion and a second to close capital project H32 Lagoon bank account.
So moved.
Mel, Eric, same discussion, it's 375, that's all in there, it's ran its course, time to close.
Resolution authorizing closure of capital project H32 Lagoon decommissioning bank account with a $3.75 balance at TD Bank. Whereas in order to better manage bank accounts, the town of Peru must close the capital project H32 Lagoon decommissioning project account with TD Bank with $3.75 balance since the project has been completed and account is no longer needed. Now be it resolved that the town board has authorized the closure of the capital project H32 Lagoon decommissioning project account ending in 2575 with TD Bank with the amount of $3.75 being transferred to the Peru sewer account with TD Bank. Resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Duque?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Change it up.
Okay. Number 12, we already tabled number 11. Number 12, the request for the moratorium on self-storage units. What's the motion and all the stuff that we have to go through to put a moratorium in place? I know there's steps of this and all that kind of
Let's have
stuff.
to have a public hearing.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit to do in place. How does it affect, I had one person ask me, since this was brought up last time, or at least talks about, how does it affect someone that's already in the works already?
It's already approved, I mean, that was, it's,
But what about the other one that hasn't been approved yet, that's been talked about at the meetings?
gonna be approved next week.
It's gonna be approved, so this won't get approved, moratorium
Yeah,
until
it's on the
after
public
the
hearing.
next project, okay. I just wanted to make sure because
So,
I just didn't feel it was right, we put a moratorium when we got another one coming up, if this would stop it.
no, I can
Okay,
imagine, okay,
okay,
then
okay,
it's all.
that helps answer a lot.
So the planning board asked that this be discussed because of the applications they're receiving. I know the town of Plattsburgh did have a moratorium on them. I believe that's been lifted because they updated their zoning
Yep.
and then made it more restrictive. So the planning board wants to jump on this and just to have the town board discuss this, that's all.
Okay.
What's it gonna do for us?
Well, so one thing is the areas that are where self-storage units would be allowed now, there's strong possibilities they could impact the water and sewer for these lots.
Right?
For instance, if we had something on the Bear Swamp Road that it is in the water sewer district, if we had self-storage units, obviously Courtney's budget's gonna be affected because that lot's gonna be affected. And that's what the town of Plattsburgh was dealing with, was these units being built on properties that were serviced by water and sewer, and they weren't receiving any, developable lots, and just,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm getting hit double on it,
So-
because
yeah,
I lose the user fee, because they're not gonna use water and sewer,
right.
but also, I don't believe we charge, non-users on the tax rate, so I'm not paying any tax,
Gotcha.
which I think the town really strongly needs to look at.
Yeah, a lot of the municipalities are doing that.
Non-connected, I don't believe we charge our tax rate on any non-connected resident, business, anything like this. So they're not paying their water and sewer tax if they're not using our service, which technically is not right. They should still at least be paying the property tax side of it.
Sounds good
If
to
you're
me.
within a hydrant, you're getting the reduced insurance rate for being close to, within a hydrant district. And so non-benefiting, I guess is the term, non-benefiting, I believe, improved does not pay
No.
on the tax.
No.
Even though they're in the
Take
district,
that,
they're
take a
not
look
paying
at
that tax side. So they're not paying the usage, obviously, because they're not using it, and they're not paying the tax on that side.
Somebody besides me.
Does that work on the town water main where people are not using, or the water main comes down through?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're in the district.
Yeah.
We're pretty much all district except for just past Everett Orchards up to the water plant, I think is the only section left that's not in a created water district.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, but everybody else, if anybody else in a district isn't tied on, they're not paying on their tax side either.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure the
that
town of
self-storage that's
Plattsburgh
going in, we lost a lot, that could be a residential using water and sewer and paying on the tax side.
Which one?
One down here.
The storage unit?
Yeah,
No, it's in the commercial district, so residential's not allowed.
no.
Yeah. And that's why.
But if it was a business that was using water and sewer.
Yeah. it would-
Yes, it's a
Restaurant.
difference, that's right.
You know,
Obviously, oh yeah.
Car
yeah.
wash.
car
That's right.
wash, restaurant,
Yep,
you know,
yep.
even an office building with bathroom should at least uses something.
Yep.
You know, that's not gonna use anything.
Yep.
And
So-
it's not gonna be-
We will look at the steps to,
Okay.
yeah, I know there's a public hearing, there has to be, there's steps, it ain't like an
Absolutely.
overnight project of it.
Okay, roll.
We'll look at steps. I just wanna make sure it wasn't going to affect the one that's already in the
No,
next
it's not,
one.
no way.
Will this stop anybody from this point on?
No, I think it would have to be for the time that the public hearing and the town board adopted the moratorium, so I mean,
Yeah,
I can tell you, we've, since the two projects that we have.
Are gonna move forward.
There's, yeah, one was approved and the other one will be next week. I've received a handful of calls on people asking about lots that, you know, maybe,
Suitable for
Or
us.
something
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
move on fairly
yeah,
quick.
it's a big thing.
So, when it comes to public hearing and all that time, where am I going to get that information, just so that I know where I'm at?
We gotta see exactly for a moratorium what we have to do, so why don't we put,
Sure, Matt would know, you know,
um,
process.
by next meeting, we will have the paperwork.
I would think Matt was
Or-
probably involved in the town of Plattsburgh.
I'm sure it was.
You know, so,
We would ask them. Yeah, when we need to advertise it, how long we have to
I
advertise
didn't know
it for
if it
the
needed to
public
come
hearing.
from zoning, if it needed to come from Matt, if it needed to come from. I
Probably
didn't
should
find
come
it.
from a recommendation from
Planning
the
board?
planning board itself to us,
yeah.
get that coming,
Yeah.
because
Does
then that
anybody
way.
know when Plattsburgh did their moratorium?
Oh my God, that was years ago.
No.
Maybe a year before last.
Yeah.
Oh, that was last year.
Because they
Oh,
have
well then I'm golden, because the little town clerk click will help.
So
They're
we'll look
wonderful.
into that. Good. We'll make sure what we need to do and find
Okay,
out,
I
just for us
just-
to get more
I just
information.
wanted to
and
get my ducks in order.
get a-
Yeah.
Anything else on that, anyone?
Nope.
That was just a discussion. Okay. Number 13, discussion. Pam, you wanted, who had this on here? The discussion about the near, Craig or Bob?
So Ally Webanero passed this information and was discussed at the last month's planning board meeting, and she's asking the town to consider this. You can see that it opens up a bunch of grant opportunities. I read through it briefly, there's quite a bit of information there. I mean, I think, she, just asking the board to consider it to be a pro-housing community. I think it's where it's suitable. I mean, it depends. And I believe it all boils down to Governor Hochul's office says that the state is how many hundreds of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousand units short
Yeah.
in their housing, and they think that they want to be able to help communities have their housing. And
I can tell you right now, all the ones in Plattsburgh have a 4 to 5 year waiting period.
yeah.
But I can also tell you, the ones behind Lenny's, the state troopers and cops are there
Yeah,
4 or 5
understand.
times
Oh, yeah,
a day.
for Sure.
So you get the positives, you get the real negatives. The ones behind Sam's Clubs are ran very well, and Connecticut Core is ran very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
It's,
I visited both places, and then I visited one behind Lenny's. That's a totally different story over there.
The housing authority
It's
involved
unbelievable,
is
and the state
perfect.
troopers and cops will tell you everything.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the Connecticut Court on the base, if you ever go by there, you ever look around there, it is spotless everywhere around there. I had a tour of it a couple weeks ago, and I went over to the one by Sam's Club, very well ran. The other one, that's a different story.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because that was $30-something million,
Yeah.
and it is unbelievable what goes on over there.
Oh, yeah.
Is this sort of like Apple Valley?
This is like the community, the big community projects, like the
Oh.
one behind Sam's Club, the one over at Connecticut Court. It's how they run them after they build them. So I think it's a great idea as long as,
Yeah.
it's ran the right way. I think it's an awesome idea, but I can tell you right now, there's 4 to 5 year waiting period for every single person. I was at 2 of the places longer than the one place. There's people coming in, I'd say probably 10 within an hour time, trying to put an application, and they just told them 4 to 5 year waiting time. And the phone calls just kept coming in. And they go to Albany first, then they come back up here.
Sure.
Yeah.
So most of these grants, we wouldn't be eligible for except for the first few of them.
Yeah,
But there's also, as long as Bob's aware, there's
so many stuff.
just the beginning, you have to have 5 years of documentation from the zoning,
Yeah,
planning,
that's,
and
yeah, I understand. Yep.
all of that.
Yep.
it's my understanding, talking to Ally, that we got foot in the door, based on our sales.
Yes. Yeah. And she'd be happy to talk. I almost thought about contacting her, and maybe she should have been here tonight. She could get more, she knows more about the program.
Yes.
And
next time. we'll get-
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
I think it'd be good for the town.
Opens a lot of possibilities. if it's done right.
I mean, there's housing needed, I mean, I can tell you this being real estate, the rent has gone horrible outrageous, but so has taxes and cost of everything, and the bad tenants, you know, I hate to say it, but they're the ones that cost good tenants money, because I've seen some places that were destroyed and cost the owners, you know, $20,000-$30,000, they gotta return it back, so, but it's definitely a shortage everywhere, and it's not just New York, it's everywhere.
Yep.
Okay, so that's something to think about, discuss. Obviously, a lot of paperwork that Bob would have to start in the process.
Yep.
And obviously, it doesn't hurt with Ally working for the state now too.
Sure.
Okay, anything else on that?
Thank you.
Okay, number 14, Heyworth Mason Murals.
I'll hand it off to Greg. How's that, Greg?
Sounds good, Helen. Well, Paul and I have been slowly working, plugging away at this potential mural within the Mason building. So as it's going to be revamped for the bathrooms and stuff, the thought is to have a mural inside of there. We had sort of pitched the idea around town to various locations at the last meeting where we both presented, determined that those were not really ideal locations, and Ellen came up with the idea of inside the Mason building. It makes a lot of sense, it's protected. Yeah, it would be a perfect spot for a mural. The grant that I'm working with Amy Guglielmo, who's one of the people that orchestrates the murals throughout Plattsburgh, and she's working on this for another mural that I'm hypothetically doing in Champlain. So we're pretty much taking that and applying it to the project that we're proposing here. For those funds to be received, it needs to go through like a municipality or non-for-profit, which would be the town. To do that, we're looking for kind of a statement essentially saying that the town would be willing to do that.
And my only question is, Matt's not gonna be here, so I don't wanna make a move until we make sure that we're clear with Matt on this particular project. Because my understanding last time was that the town of Peru, did not want to be associated with anything, make sure there's no association between you and the town of Peru or your nonprofit.
Yep.
I would say on this, we'll just put this on hold till we get Matt's opinion on it in public setting.
Are you gonna give us a bid or a contract for the $5,000?
No, so the budget and everything goes through the NISCA grant. So really the only thing that the town has to do is say okay and process it.
Well, it says we have to give 10% matching funds.
So that's a request. I think Helen would probably be better explaining the in-kind part of grants.
Yeah, I'm not sure about NISBA, but certainly any work that's done on behalf, for example, if I go to talk to the kids, then my hours are counted as volunteer hours that are donated to the project. So, for example, with other grantors, I'm worth about $35 an hour, so that's, with 16 hours, you'd have to $500 matched easily. Now, never mind the installation, which, and that match from the town of Peru, whatever that would have cost the town of Peru to install the grant, which is probably going, I don't know, Courtney, I don't know, what do you think, would that be about $500? We're looking for $500 match.
So we can make it
I could make it
$500.
$500.
Probably get that cheaper.
Now,
than
then
you
does
said.
it go out to bid on who does the murals? If we get the grant, since this is a town's grant,
It's the town's grant.
it's the town's grant.
I'm not maybe. In the grant proposal, you put in the artist that you're looking at, which right now is me, but I'm not sure that
Wow.
I'm not sure that has to be the route you go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we'd have to have Matt double check
Yeah,
everything.
I'm just curious where you get the 5,000 for materials and artist fees, you know?
So we do have a budget to go along with all that,
Okay,
but that is, like, that would just go through the grant.
And then we would also need clarification on who owns that property in writing too.
Okay.
But
Well, if it's a grant and the town's getting it in return for the grant, it would 100% be the town.
Yeah.
Because the grant can't go to somebody else.
Right.
If the town is
We want it.
the recipient of it.
What's the timeline?
I think the due date is the 14th.
For the grant? Well, what's the timeline for the project to be complete?
It depends on whether the grant is accepted. My hope would be to have an unveiling during Apple Fest.
This year?
Yeah,
There's no way.
you don't think
You're
so?
never gonna have bathrooms down there. We don't even have blueprints drawn for bathrooms down there yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're 2 years at least away.
Yeah.
2 years?
I would
Okay.
say.
Oh, yeah, we got
At least.
blueprints, I mean, that's nothing
We don't
goes.
even have blueprints drawn up on it yet.
Oh,
All we have is a concept that has no measurements, nothing.
Nothing,
Oh,
nothing.
took us 3 years to get a porta potty there.
oh, okay.
We're minimal 2 years out.
Oh. I guess I was.
We must have dropped the ball on
There was
it.
mistake, yeah, okay, there was a little miscommunication. Not been,
That building's stripped inside, there's no plumbing, nothing. Like,
Okay.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
we've got it.
complete start from scratch.
Pump kit, you gotta put a pump in
okay,
first.
so table this for now then.
I guess that clarifies everything.
Yeah, there is underneath, on the printout that I gave you, policy for hanging panels on exterior of buildings within the town of Peru. And we had talked a little bit about this, and I just wanted to make sure that that's acceptable use, and if there was any sort of paperwork that we need to go through, limitations.
That would be the code enforcement, because that has nothing to do with the town board?
Okay,
That'd be Bob.
so we'll talk,
Because there is certain restrictions on signs and signages and
okay.
a lot of stuff, but that's all Bob. for sure.
Okay,
That's-
and then, you talked to me real quick about the signs, would you like me to?
Yeah, Helen, we were talking earlier today about the signs on the trail, so go ahead.
Yeah, so the planet signs on the trails, we've had lots of talk about them looking kind of icky. And I worked last year with the Lions Club to come up with funds to get a template or what's it called? A mock-up, I guess, of it made. And there were some hiccups with involving students creating it and getting processed through.
Just as a precursor, we're talking about the planet signs that were vandalized before.
Yeah.
We're talking about replacing those.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Planets?
Yeah.
The planets.
So the sign, yeah, on the trail. And so we ended up involving PACE, which is an after-school program at Peru. And they were able to pass on additional funding. And we've got Kevin Susi, I think it's pronounced.
Signs now.
Yeah, Signs Now, or Signs, and, we know who we're
I
talking
know
about.
exactly.
So he was able to print those out pretty much, I think it was about a week ago, and had agreed to install them as well. I'm not sure if they are installed, but they're definitely printed. And so the printing is done with vinyl, and that's attached to ACM, which is an aluminum composite material. And then those are going to be mounted to the bases that are already on the trail.
Cool. Kevin's a good guy.
Okay. So they're already actually outdone already?
I think so.
Okay. I haven't heard of this at all.
Yeah, Kevin
Because
Kevin called me Saturday when we had our water break and asked about access on the trail if he could plow it. I talked to him quick, but I told him I didn't recommend plowing the trail. If he wants to drive his side by side, we go install them. He was supposed to call me back. He came to the office, but we had another water break, so I haven't gotten back with him. Yeah, it was the first I heard of it too.
Yeah, it's first.
I recommend not.
First I heard of it today.
I recommend
um,
not plowing the trail, because I
Yeah,
think that's
thank
gonna
you.
open us up to
I
damage.
mean, I think it's a great idea, just I wish I would have known about it before, obviously it was already all done, because I could tell you, that's when that originally happened, teacher called me up and I had 13 people, businesses donate $100 each sign.
Yep.
And they had their name in the bottom right
Yep.
hand corner. Within 6 months, obviously, we ended up catching the kids later on down the road. But they were destroyed and they put them back up, but then they didn't wear well
Yeah,
because
the
of how
problem
they
is
were.
they all
So I wish I would have known about the project, because I probably could have got the same sponsors and gave them money to the booster club like we did years ago. It had the name of somebody sponsored each sign.
But the Lions Club
yeah.
gave you the funds like a year ago.
Yeah, so they gave partial funding, and that was just to like redo the signs. The signs that were printed still have all of those logos that are from the original sponsor.
Good, that's
So-
good. Do they want, I mean, or do they have enough funds is what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Because I
all
could get more and make them
So
pay
they
it.
don't need any more money. They're all done.
Okay,
No.
okay. Good.
Is he installing them for free?
Well, that was part of the
Okay.
funds went to him, so he's,
So that was last year's money?
The
for,
Lions Club never gave you the money until recently.
no, so Lions Club gave me $250 to do a mock-up, which that is going towards the overall balance of whatever funds they took. So,
Do you have any idea what the total amount was?
I think it was around 1,000.
Yeah, last time, I think it was ended up being like 1,500 total when the kids did it. And they might have bought the material, of course, that was a hype of, stuff and,
So these should last significantly longer
good.
and
Cool.
be less likely to be vandalized.
147 moons.
Good.
Uranium.
So that puts Jim Douglas is still out by Pluto then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Pluto,
saw his picture.
there was Pluto.
Did
It
you?
was there.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else?
Pluto.
Okay,
Oh.
thank you. Number 15.
Look at you on there.
Other
Man on the
business.
moon.
Eric.
Just a quick thing. I've had an opportunity when I do my business salons I had, working with a lot of municipalities, and I gotta say, I'm excited to be involved with you guys. Seeing you firsthand, you and your group, spot on. Good team, nice team. It's, you know what you're really doing, and same thing as you, Mike, with your group coming up and what you've done with there. It's glad to be part of it.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Cool.
I'm good, but isn't that nice to hear, guys?
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of municipalities, so,
There's your councilman saying that, man.
and you too, Bob.
Give him another 6 months to see how he feels.
Must be Luke was in a good mood, so.
Watch him jumping up to his waist in mud, and then,
That's what I said.
On a Saturday, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Eric's not scared to get dirty, but.
I would've went in too, but it's like, he went first, okay.
Good worker.
No, good group. Not a good group of people. All the way around.
Good.
Good.
Thanks,
You ever
Eric.
said that 55 years ago in Blackbrook too?
Yeah. Wow, good. You did.
I know you. Diane.
I just want to say that our town has met our warrant.
Nice.
Actually, it was the 1st of February, so our town is paid, and I would say probably the treasurer is paid, so the rest will be ours. And I can't thank our residents and taxpayers enough. I'm writing a book this year. It was definitely a different kind of year, but it was really, really great. And our town has to be proud, because the treasurer office writes many checks to other towns because they
They can't fund it.
they can't fund it.
Yeah, they can't fund
We
it.
have a lot to be proud of, everybody, a lot to be proud of. And I say
Excellent.
thank you.
And the extra hours help a lot. Our last Monday that we had, I think we had 14 people come in. And
Saturday morning was good.
Saturday morning was good.
Saturday morning was good too.
And every single person thanked us for having extra hours,
they did.
just because everyone, a lot of people work.
Convenient.
Yep, so that was nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Di.
Thank No, that was it, I just was happy about that.
No,
Oh, I'm all set.
great.
I'm all set.
Bob?
Just one thing, if any of the town board gets any feedback from the general public, I'm on a Clean Up the Town campaign. I've put out a lot of letters here recently for folks with junk cars, so.
Thank you.
I don't go sneaking in backyards, but if I can see them from the road, they're gonna get a notice, and I'm not judging. It's, if I enforce it uniformly, then no one should have a complaint, so. We've had some positives of folks, some have complied. What I do is I always give them 10 days, and it's just the same one that I give out every time, and it says if you don't comply, you're gonna get a quarter-clearance ticket, and that's it. So it's been good, but I just wanted to inform the board that
Thank you.
that's occurring now, so if anybody hears anything. That's all I got, thank you.
It's time to look for demo cars then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the thick of it. We are 2 Saturdays down, we have 6 Saturdays left to go. Bumps and bruises here and there, interpretation of rules, some coaching differentials, but all in all, we've gotten some other things cleaned up. The girls had the program for the high school, reached out, wants to invite anybody. This Wednesday is senior night for the girls, so she's invited all of the girls program. So I spoke with the boys program and I said, hey, this is what the girls program is doing. Would you guys like to hop on board? So the boys program said yes. So they're having their senior night is the 15th. So they'll recognize all of our players that are in the boys program on the 15th as well. We set some dates for summer activities, looking for a few other people. We're looking specifically for a week-long person for basketball this summer. I should have tennis still lined up. I'm waiting for confirmation. Soccer's good to go. Arts and crafts are good to go. Those are our 2 lead ones where we always fill up. You know, we have 50 spots that we can fill. We always have like 85 people sign up. And then we usually have anywhere between 35 and 45 show up. So, rec assistants, I've already been asked by kids in school, when can I sign up for that? And I said, we'll be posting it in school. It's open to anybody that's in the town of Peru. So I do stress that as well, because I do know that there are some kids that would really love to participate and go to school here, but their town of Schuyler Falls or their town of Ausable. So I've stressed that as well. I think that's about it.
That's pretty good.
The other night meeting, we brought up an assistant for you. Is that something we can put on the board, advertise, and start there?
We can definitely try to. I've had a couple of people say, oh, you know, I thought about it, but, you know, I'm not really sure, you know, that attached value isn't really quite there. And I'm like, okay, I get it, you know, so.
So you did it for how many years?
Yeah, I know, but I never really did it for the paycheck. I never.
That's the key.
I know. If I could find somebody like me here, I know, exactly.
There's no coach that does it for the
3,000 or 13, you just happened to get it.
I looked it up and
I spent more money coaching than I made.
It's kind of like teaching. I spend more money, like, oh my goodness.
Sponsored a lot of jerseys, that's all I know.
Yeah.
So if we'd like to do that, that would be great. I've had some other people mention it. I won't name names because I don't want to put them on the spot. But I could always go back to them and say, hey, this is where we're at. And we can go from there.
Yeah, and if John wants to put someone on the Gazette, then we're looking for a rec assistant, for, is that 3,000 we said?
Yeah, that's what it was.
3,000.
Excuse me?
3,000 for rec assistant.
$3,000?
Yeah.
Or
What is your
pay them in
requirement?
apples if they want.
I mean, you obviously did.
So I did a little bit more, or, you know.
Well, what did you require?
But with the addition of basketball, someone who would be willing to take a couple of the Saturdays, right now it's 8 Saturdays, and right now we have a youth commission person, Brad Rushford, who has said, look, I'll do this Saturday, because my kid's there, I'll stay all day. So he's taking a couple of, I still show up first thing in the morning, you know?
Brad wouldn't wanna take it on?
Brad will be leaving Youth Commission. They are moving out of the area come this May.
Oh, that's sad.
I
Carolina.
know,
That's sad to hear.
yes, very much so. We're trying to see who we can replace, because now that means Youth Commission will be
Yeah,
down
it's
by
very
one
helpful.
again. Yeah,
He's a good neighbor too.
so,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Okay.
All right, we'll start by advertising it more and
okay,
we'll go from there.
sounds great.
And hope they can get all the youth for more information.
Yes, yep, just put the town cell phone number, yep, or they can email me at recreation director,
Awesome.
approved town, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Helen?
We've been through all the boxes downstairs, so we're getting pretty well organized. I've had, always have a crew of 2 more on Mondays, so it's great. We have a table at the Peru Market this year. Ally called me and she's gonna make room for us, so we'll have a history table there.
There you go.
Yeah, and we're planning monthly history chats. We're not sure where the location will be, but we want to get longtime Peru residents. We want to film them and interview them and film them to get more Peru history, because there's always a lot we don't really know. So we're starting that probably, I would guess, in May. So we'll need to hear more about it because we need to find a location. Maybe the Peru Library.
Yeah, we had a good community project going over there where the guys came in and explained things that went really well over there.
Yeah.
The other option would be Living Goods after a few beers, some of the stories
Talk
might
about
be.
it.
Remember, we talked about Living Goods.
Yes, but
You know, after a few beers, the stories
Yeah,
certainly.
yeah, well, no, I guess, I don't know. We were trying to think of whether it has to be at 3 in the afternoon before.
Yeah, maybe it should be early in the morning for some of these guys.
Yeah, so, anyway, you'll hear more about it, we're pretty excited about that too.
Excellent, that's great. I
Like,
love stuff like that. History.
Courtney?
Good.
Good. Oh, they gotta be Mike now.
Mine was, for a change, pretty well all good.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah.
The only bad
Not
part
really.
is,
I got this
West
paper here.
Brady, the fuel contract, there is no state contract for Clinton, Essex, or Franklin County.
Cannot
for diesel.
believe they did not get a.
Carlene called me and the prices seemed high, so I ended up looking, geez, there's no, look, for whatever reason, there's Clinton, Essex, Franklin, there's no state contract. So the county,
We should
that
say,
ended in December. The county did their own, between up, and it involves DOT to in Plattsburgh, so this whole region. I think between all of us, it's like 400 or 594,000 gallons of fuel. MX has got it, but the way it works, it goes off the Albany port price, I believe. If I understood Carl right, and Carl said anybody could call him and he'll explain it to him, but what it is whatever that price in Albany is, it's 30 cents more for the diesel, 36 cents more for the gas. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I already talked to Pam, it's gonna blow the fuel budget right out of the water, because it's quite a chunk to change.
Big numbers.
We're feeding Peru school, I mean, they eat that cost too, but.
They eat it, but we gotta fund it.
But,
is
yeah.
that some sort of discrimination against the North Country that we're not getting a state contract?
Well, and I got looking at all the carriers, and Griffith used to do the state contract, but you look at the whole state, and there's like 3 or 4 trucking companies that take care of it. So I think that's part of the problem.
So we're
But
outside
MX
of their,
Fuel,
I got
which
you.
is odd,
yeah, they're
it
right.
got St. Lawrence County on the state contract. But apparently, when it got to Carl, we used to go off Schoharie, and it must go by size, is the only thing I can think of. And they went off Schoharie, and then they added a bunch of money, or, money to it, and that's how it was some kind of formula, was a pain. So that's why this is it, but I thought it was just Clinton County, but it's Clinton, Essex, and Franklin. So MX Fuel or Ford Oil, whatever you want to call them, feed everybody here, plus DOT all the DOTs and this, you know, right up the mall.
Good for them.
It just, the kicker, I don't know why MX has got St. Lawrence.
St.
County.
Lawrence, but doesn't have Clinton exit in Franklin. It doesn't make sense at all.
Maybe you should make a phone call.
I'm gonna make phone calls, this is the first I heard of it, of course, this
Yeah.
came out in February.
So, that's kind of that. We did get Tyler's truck back.
Good news.
Took a John Deere seal, but, which is good. That really rubbing in. Got my pickup back.
Yes.
That's good. That's got the key switch thing, which we had on order at the other place. We canceled because we figured they're never gonna call us anyway. So we ran it back up to Champlain. Actually isn't the key switch. There is a electronic module in the steering column. When you put the key in, it tells it to release the thing, but it is under warranty. So with that, it's backward. So they'll take care of that. Usually I gotta, like tonight, I had to go to shut it off where we're at. You gotta turn the wheel like 3 times and let you shut the truck off. But I just got a letter today. There is, well, Pam got 2. There is a recall on the push button for the tailgate. There's something. So I'll call them and take care of all that one shot. Sandy from Charlie Boys called, down to Braintree, brand new truck that's coming from Tenco. It's done. They did a final inspection last week, so Sandy thought either the end of this week or next week we should have that truck. We did have a sit-down meeting with Tyler. What we call the twin, one we had all the trouble where the motor's going. We're gonna run it till she goes. It's just, it's all just worth the scrap, so we're gonna run it. The hydraulic pump is scheduled to come in the 19th for Adam's truck, and we should be all up and running. The boys today installed a new thing in my pickup. It's actually an air roll temperature, what I had before. This thing's got a camera on the dash, and then I can go up through and say a county road or whatever, where I used to stop, try to take a picture and figure it out. It's actually got a button on it I can push, say, hey, house 353 or something, Beegersville Road, 3 across the road. Instead of trying to write it down and drive, I can get back, that'll feed to the main computer. I can get back, call the county. It's also, you can use it if you go down and discuss something with taxpayers or, you know how that is, but it's got the camera and it's got a mic. So there's, it's a little safety net,
Yeah, definitely, that's a really good idea.
So it's, that's all part of the salt reduction. Like I said, the Lake Champlain Basin did get a big grant with a brine maker and stuff. I believe that's going to Harriet's Town. But I'm catching wind, there is 4 to 6 Metal Plus plows in on that grant. I am going to try to snag one. I've reached out, if we can, on the next truck. I wouldn't have to order a front plow because we can get it.
That'd be awesome.
Which I think we should have a shot because we're really the only one in this area that are doing the true salt reduction without all the new technology and everything and tracking it. So the guys have been fixing stuff. We've been burning brush pile. We haven't burned 2 years because the last smoke up on Barney down. So we got that half, 3/4 of the way gone. Other than that,
Getting a new toy put on an excavator?
yep, that is actually done. That was done. They called Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock. We're at 3. But I didn't have anybody go get it today. We're going to pick it up tomorrow.
Nice.
And I'll pick out a roll and we're going to put it to you.
Excellent.
So the sidewalk tractor we got, Pam's got insurance on it. I wish we'd bought it a couple months ago because we haven't had to move it. So.
Yeah, well, don't complain about that.
Yeah, no, it's just sitting in the garage.
That's not a bad thing.
Other than that, everything's going good.
Excellent, Mike.
Mike, quick question. I was going through bills the other day. The salt's still coming out of Canada, right?
Yes. That is a county bid, because I called Carl right off the bat, because I'm on that state committee, and it was supposed to be all-American thing, but then it got into a percentage, if it was gonna be a hardship, and you could save, which we are. It is quite a bit, the price is quite a bit down on what we were paying. I think it was 59 cents less, a ton, so, they ran that through their lawyer, which I think is Jackie Keller, don't quote me.
Probably.
But, that met all the legal channels, and the county actually does all the bidding for that.
And it's strange, the company's based out of Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, that's our headquarters, but it's actually,
That just caught my
Yeah.
attention, that's all.
then I got the bids for the concrete, which is absolutely scary.
Yeah.
I mean, the cheapest for concrete that I saw on county bid was $158 a year.
Wow. Wow.
150 a yard.
There's some of it, the special concrete, it's $2 something a year.
The world we're in.
I remember when it was 90 cents.
That's it.
Stupid question, like
$90.
on this, I was reading more.
Not that long
Has this-
ago.
Has this already been signed for 2 years already?
You know?
What's that?
Has this already been approved for 2 years already though?
Yeah, the
It
county,
looks like it's already been approved by the county.
yeah, the county did it
And
all.
we have no say.
Well, and you can't, we thought it, if you do
And
your own
it
bid,
does include.
you're gonna be higher,
It
because
does include.
you don't buy enough fuel.
10 districts. It includes Essex, Franklin, Jefferson, Hamilton, St. Lawrence, and Lewis County. And Essex, Franklin, Hamilton, includes more counties.
Wow.
Still, I mean, I mean, it said it's already been approved in
Yeah,
November.
the county,
And there's really, nothing we can do now, but I'm gonna bring this up to Billy Jones, because I mean,
Yeah.
how the heck can you leave the North Country
Who gets the most snow?
out of a state bid and make us pay 36, like you said, 30 to 36 cents extra a gallon? That adds up a lot for small towns up here.
yeah, that's why, that's why I brought it to your attention.
I mean,
That's why-
especially when the
What, double
state,
change?
especially when the
Has the
state,
snow.
Yeah,
if we see, yeah, that's been already approved. Not by us, obviously, but it's already been approved by the county.
Sorry, you gonna ask him?
Somebody dropped the ball.
Somebody dropped, I don't know, that's hard to
Was it
hard to
least?
believe.
Elise was busy down in Mar-a-Lago.
That's hard to believe. Anyways, no comment. That's it. Pam?
Hey,
I think I'm good.
still smiling now.
Anyone else? Other business?
Nope. Little girl.
Okay.
John?
Public comments on agenda items only.
Does Mike, Mike remember how much that Cook Road box culvert is?
what's that now?
How much is the box culvert?
The box culvert's $129,000.
129?
Yeah,
Okay.
Anything else?
How much how much was spent on the temporary repairs you had to do to the thing?
14, I just got the bill, actually, turned it in, 14,000 and change.
Wow.
And actually, in hindsight, they did it twice, but the first one didn't hold, so it
Washed out.
we got 2 for 1 basically.
Thank you.
So basically, they did the right thing when it got washed out. Anything
There's a
else?
paper there, though. It's been right here for a year.
Okay, number 417, pay generated bills. I need a motion and a second for the resolution.
Very good.
Jim Douglas,
That
second.
was for-
Okay. Resolution authorizing the post audit payments and certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town. Motion by Jim Douglas, second by Eric.
Okay.
Okay, whereas the town of Peru has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services redeemed or goods provided to the town in January 2023. From town Peru invoices, January 2023, 4,099 through included 202, 400, 165. Abstract date is dated 2/2/2024. For the dollar amount of $136,819.86. Of that, $16,778.67 was wired. Credit cards, prepaid, and $120,041.19 remains to be paid in January. Whereas the town board find said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount. Therefore, be it resolved that the payments information, what's that word?
Aforementioned.
Information claims, bills, and invoices approved And supervisor approved, authorized to make the payment, and further be resolved that the resolution shall be take effect immediately. Any discussion?
No,
If not, roll call, Craig Bruno,
yes.
Jim Douglas.
Yeah.
Eric Duque,
Yes.
Mel Irwin,
Yes.
myself, yes. All five to good. Okay, we have no reason for an executive session that I know of. We put it on just in case. Is there any reason to have it?
No,
Okay, so we need a table number 18.
table it.
Uh,
Motion.
Craig made the motion to table,
Second.
second by Jim Douglas. All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
There you go.
Jim Douglas. And second,
I'll second.
Eric second.
I'll third it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.